Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm reviewing a late movie review. I just got lazy doing it. But anyways, here is the review of Case 39. Before I get into the story and stuff, let me read off the main characters' names here. Renee Zellweger. Put a picture up of her right now. That was Renee Zellweger, and she plays as Emily. And here is the second main character. Her name is Jadelle Ferland. Here she is, coming up. And she plays as Lil Sullivan. And, we got a dude finally. I don't mean to be gay or anything, but, this movie was filled with girls, and they weren't really, oh well. But here he is, Bradley Cooper. He plays as Doug, and she's one of, Lil's friend, Jadelle Ferland. So let me get into the story. Jadelle Ferland's character plays as a lawyer, I think, from what I understood from the movie, and she tries to help kids that are being either abused or just need help. So, Renee Zellweger comes along in this film, and Jadelle Ferland, this character, believes that Renee Zellweger's character is being abused. So what does she do? She goes to the house and checks on her, and they say that Renee Zellweger's character's parents say that nothing is going on and she's perfectly fine. Well, Jadelle Ferland doesn't believe that. So, she leaves and tries to get more evidence that she's being abused. So, she's looking up, this girl and everything. I'm gonna just tell the characters' names. I've been reading out the actresses' names and actors' names. So I'm gonna show you them real quick so we don't get confused with anything. I'm sorry, guys. But Renee Zellweger's character's name is Emily, and this is her. And Jadelle plays as Lil. Okay, so now we're not gonna get confused. So Lil checks on Emily, and Emily's parents are saying that nothing is happening, and Lil doesn't believe them. So she goes back to her office and looks up any information she could get on this little girl. And so yeah. Well, the next day they have Emily's parents and Emily herself come in, and they basically interrogate them. And they didn't really say much, but Lil goes up to Emily at one point and talks to her, and Emily tells Lil the truth of what's going on. But it's not really the truth, it's just so, Lil will believe her. So yeah, and then Lil ends up adopting Emily, taking Emily, and gives her help and all that junk. And later on in the film, you realize that Emily isn't an innocent child, as you were thinking in the beginning of the film. So, what's happening is Emily turns out to be the devil, and she's causing all this mayhem with all these detectives and all the other people. And so Lil has to just try to find a way how to put a stop to Emily before things get worse and worse. And that's like where the movie just basically, what's happening in the movie. That's the plot is where, it's hard to explain this movie. This was a very, very weird movie, and I can hardly explain it. Anyways, you would have to see it for yourself. This movie wasn't scary. It was a thriller. It had some jump scenes. It did make me jump. And, yeah, it seemed very real. There was no disappointments with this film at all. I say this movie was better than Orphan. And it sort of was like The Orphan. But Orphan was just way out of hand. It just didn't seem right. I didn't feel like the girl really was meant to play the part, but look at this girl. Look at this girl right here. Look at Renee Zellweger's character. Already creepy just looking at her. It gives me the chills just looking at her. And, they did a good job picking her, and, especially for this movie. So, I say check it out on your, I don't know if it's on, I know it's not in theaters anymore. It came out in 2010, and I happened to browse Netflix, and I caught it on Netflix, and it looked pretty good, and I was actually impressed by this movie. This was not really, you did not suspect every scene. It was unpredictable. You were basically hiding under your covers in this movie. It was scary, in my opinion. It was scary. So, yeah. What did I think of all the actors, actresses in this film? They did a very good job. I give them all credit. The deaths could have been a little more impressive. I mean, it really didn't take the time. The producers who did this movie did not really focus on the deaths. And I don't blame them. They really were just focusing on this little girl and what she really is. And I was okay with that sort of, but didn't really impress me all that much. It really didn't. How they didn't focus on that. Anyways, if I was to rate this movie out of 1 out of 10, I would have to give this at least an 8.5. They did a good job. The storyline was pretty good. It took a while to get to that, the good stuff. But it was actually worth the wait, for sitting 30 minutes into this movie. I had to sit for 20 minutes just to wait for this good stuff to happen. But, it is worth it. It does pay off in the end, and, so yeah, I give all credit to these 3 actors and actresses' names. Well, I said names, but oh well. I do give all credit to them. Good job. I hope, I don't plan on seeing another one of these type of films. Orphan was just horrible film. And, I think Orphan came out first, and why this film was better is because the producers with Orphan suck so much. So the producers who did this movie basically, I guess, was thinking, let's learn from our mistakes. So yeah, bye now.